You see me? It says I'm live, but it also says I'm not live. Oh, I think I'm live. Okay, can you guys see me and hear me? You guys see me and hear me? For my mod, well, let me make sure you can. Okay, thank you, Joe. For my mods, I'm working on. I was gonna set up a Discord, but I got an email from Stan.store, which is my website that I already use, and in September, I think it is, you're able to do something similar to Discord on there. So I'm going to wait for that to put it all in one place. But if anybody has anything they need to talk to me about in the meantime, you can fill it out with the mods listing on the Etsy shop. Just use your code. You can use it more than once if you have some kind of question or anything. You never got your mod question answered, Nicole. I thought I sent it to you. I'll check after. I thought I sent it to you. All right, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. If you ordered the Minis Whispers deck, I got an email from the company. They're going to still try and ship them out at the regular time. So hopefully I'll have them at the regular time. All right, let me go back to when I started here. Is R staying with G until she gets out of nursing school and gets a job so she won't have to rely on him? He's staying with her until she's out of nursing school. It feels like there's some kind of issue of codependence that's being worked through here. I would say there is some holding on for the wrong reasons that it kind of feels. It feels like this is a lesson that needs to be worked through. Will he stay with her until then so she won't have to rely on him? I feel like no, not entirely. Does Bruce have a message for his fiancée, Steph? He passed 3/18/24 and she's having a difficult time. Well, 10 of Pentacles would indicate I'm still there with you. I'm not going anywhere. Ace of Swords in reverse. Page of Swords. There's a need to let herself be supported. There's something that she needs to kind of talk through in order to start to feel better. Almost like she's trying to protect herself by not feeling certain pieces of it that she'll not have to feel the weight of once she starts to release and talk about them. Feels like the message is that she's much stronger than she's giving herself credit for, but she needs to allow herself to be supported by others so that she can witness her own strength in action. It feels like this bit of frozenness that he's encouraging her to work through. Because he's right there with her, and there's this feeling of like, don't hold yourself back because I'm coming forward with you. Yeah, putting down the heavy burden. This is way too far away. I'm standing right next to you, and I have become one of your guides. So yeah, I'm with you always. Let yourself feel because I'm there to support you. I didn't put music on. Let me pick a song and then I'll put music on. Free Fallin' by Tom Petty is the song. And The Show Goes On by Lupe Fiasco. So yeah, a need to allow forward progress. Oops. Where am I? Will I find solid work soon, even temporary? Not as soon as you'd like. Something is still maturing or in the works, or there's a need to maybe revamp your resume, reach back out to places that you've applied to. Something needs to be done differently to usher that in. Maybe even reaching out to someone who may have some kind of in for you, but it feels like as it stands right now, there's still action that needs to be taken on your part, or following up on past action, it could be. Would I win a court case if I made an application to court, legal claim on house charge? It's like there's something more that needs to be provided proof or evidence wise, or like it feels like as it stands right now, there's not enough. There's a potential to get something that's right now kept or hidden or not in your possession that would help your case. But it feels like without that, it's going to be very hard. What can we know about that? The Star, something being made public. Legal charge on house. I'm wondering if it's finding other people who dealt with something similar, either by the company or the location. It's almost like needing to connect more dots so it can be successful. Who is my soulmate? I feel like the soulmate you're referring that you haven't yet met. Yeah, as I said, that the blindfold on the eyes. It feels like there's two people who were significant, like soul tribe relationships, but it feels like the soulmate that you're ultimately referring to is someone that you have not met yet. King of Wands. Action still needing to be taken. It feels like someone you haven't met yet. Although there are at least two very significant people who would be considered like a soulmate, but I don't think in the way that you're referring to that word, if that makes sense. What is wrong with Rescuer L and will I get Clara? It feels like there was some kind of ball dropped, bad decision made, or like I intend for this to happen and this happens instead. Almost like trying to cover for something that was a little bit of a mistake or a misstep. When it comes to L, will you get Clara? It feels like something's still preventing that from being the case as it sits right now. Either someone not seeing something clearly or someone holding back on some kind of decision to cover up for that possible mistake or misstep. Has recent events caused a giant leap in my self-growth? I have witnessed such expansion and growth in such a short span of time. It's what you made space for that's allowing you to explore more about yourself. Almost like something you stopped pouring your energy into or stop, like a reinvestment of your energy. I actually did a reading about this morning on TikTok. A reinvestment of your energy is allowing you to break past other perceived fears that were holding you back previously. Yeah, that's holding you back previously. So were you able to take a giant leap? Hangman in reverse. You got unstuck from what was holding you back. So I would say yes. Messages from my spiritual community. It's like something that didn't work out previously. You're getting a second chance at this. I almost feel like I read something like this recently for you. Why is this coming back up? Because you're still stuck. So whatever it is that you're still stuck in, you're about to figure out what action you can take to unstuck yourself. This feels either finance or career related, almost like one tiny step forward that opens the stage for a much bigger leap forward. You're beating out some kind of anxiety that was holding you back from seeing which action to take. Message for this week. Divine guidance deficit. It feels like there's some kind of information coming in that's going to be like your light in the darkness here. You've been holding back from something, but you're about to find that the light that guides this path is actually within. And it's through some kind of shadow work here, self-sabotage patterns. it reminds me of that quote. It's like, there's nothing easy about discovering that you're the one that's been holding yourself back. It's almost like you're getting a shift in perspective so you can alleviate that holding back of self in a way that you didn't necessarily see that you were doing previously. Does my mom have a message for me? Does she see my dad? Does she see my dad joining her soon? Not as soon as you may be fearing. It does feel like it's going in that direction, but it feels like there's more time than your worst fear may be, if that makes sense. I almost want to word this as like, what you're fearing happening is going to happen at a time that you will be able to handle the grief. So almost like it's not going to be a tower on top of a tower on top of a tower moment. It's like almost like it, if you look back in retrospect after, you're going to be like, okay, I guess if that had to happen, that was a good time for that to happen. Yeah, some kind of clarity. I feel like that's the message from your mom, is to have that clarity so you have it moving forward. You're anticipating being overcome with grief, but the timing of how that grief is going to unfold is going to make it so that you can handle it as good as possible. When I Look to the Sky by Train just started playing as I was finishing that. I'll hop over to this list. New member, thank you. I tried to move the camera higher so it would focus, and it's still not. So I think we're going to get another camera. No need to cut anyone off. Just grow, and they'll fall off all on their own. You're going through some kind of rebirth, and not everyone can come with you. Why is my mother so mean and cruel? It almost feels like someone's words get inside my mind and live there rent free, and I'm stuck to that. It almost feels like if it would be like religious trauma, or like feeling like someone else is making all the decisions for me, and my defense mechanism is to be in charge of everyone else's decisions, or have control over the decisions that are being made around me. Yeah, I'm almost wondering if it's like religious or mindset type trauma that then is like, I just disconnect because I don't know how to deal with it. And then in my disconnection, I start to try and hold on to control. Third eye chakra. A lot regarding spirituality. It's almost like I lose my way internally and I make it everyone else's problem by holding on to a death grip of being in charge of everyone else's state of mind, because I feel like mine was held captive, if that makes sense. Haley, thank you. Ooh. The higher you vibe, the more you shape your environment. The lower you vibe, the more your environment shapes you. The universe has only 3 answers for us. Yes, not right now, or I have something better for you. You're switching into you deciding what you versus you choosing from options that are already presented to you. How will working with my brother-in-law go? I'm going to do one more on here and then go back to the other list. How will working with my brother-in-law go? There's something about it you're not going to love. Almost like a different dynamic paints him in a different light. Almost like you may feel like if I was a regular employee and not family, I'd be getting paid more for what you're asking me to do, or something like that. Maybe like a little bit of feeling a little taken advantage of, or maybe it's like I call you last minute because you're family, as opposed to like there's something like you're not going to love about it. It does feel like it works itself out, because I just asked like what's going to happen then, and this is going into calmer waters. So I guess like growing pains of some sort. It's going to be a minute until it really gets into like a comfortable flow. My mom is having a rough time. Will she be okay? Yes, but it's going to take a minute. There is something that she's working on healing through. So this is the after tarot. Typically this person's standing up carrying the heavy burden, and this is in reverse as well. It's almost like I'm in the process of putting down the heavy burden. So I'm in the midst of it, or in the bulk of it. So it feels like with the Fool, there is some kind of fresh start coming, but it feels like it's going to take a minute to get there. Like the only way out is through type energy is kind of what I'm picking up on. Go back to this list. Message from my guides and a token. What's that? Like a tree and a road with number 103. A winding road going towards a tree. Knight to Queen of Cups. A winding road. You're going with the horse towards some kind of emotionally fulfilling situation here. Whoever it is that you're worried if they're trustworthy or not, you're reading the situation correctly, is what I'm hearing. You're reading the situation. Not that they are or are not trustworthy. This is like whatever you were already thinking is you're reading the situation correctly, a confirmation of sorts. Any messages for me? You're walking away from something that was only hurting you. Page of Wands in reverse. Something or someone is or has been preventing you from discovering more about yourself or trusting yourself, or something about like self-love or seeing your own potential. You are about to enter the stage where you disengage from that person or that energy so that you can finally figure out what it is. Yeah, disengage. Two of Cups in reverse. After you disengage or walk away from that person or mindset or whatever it is, you find fast movement forward. So it's going to hurt, but it's freeing you. It's like a cutting of a string. It's going to hurt while you're cutting it, and then you're free to move forward. What's August look like for me? I almost see this as like a surprise bill or something. I guess I'd say if you have a little extra money, put it away. This could be something that catches you by surprise, or it could be something that you want to spend money on and you're thankful that you put a little extra away. Yeah, Seven of Pentacles, planting seeds, waiting for them to sprout. Knight of Wands in reverse, take your time. I think this is more of a warning to be careful with your spending this month. And if you're careful with your spending, you're going to avoid some kind of frustration or some kind of like, oh crap, I don't know what to do with this particular thing. If you have extra, put it a little away this month. Is Uncle Jerry happy I'll be living in his former home? Well, this is a happy family, and then this is the opposite of independence. So quite literally, I'm happy that you're here with me. Now this is in a bad spot. Hold on. Okay, doesn't roll that well. Life is a series of choices. Choose love. Two hearts in the sky connected. It's like he's happy you made the right choices. Anything Spirit wants me to watch out for today? People projecting onto you their own insecurities and acting like children. It feels like there's an energy of someone around you who wants to dim your light and is kind of coming from the place of, I can dim your light by projecting my insecurities onto you. So I would say to watch out for not taking other people's projections personally. Yeah, the Hierophant, coming from a higher state of mind, knowing that they're only projecting and it's not, whatever they're saying is not about you, it's about themselves. Is Corey out of pain? The Devil in reverse would be a big yes. Almost like the, on the other side of the veil, because there's the blindfold there. On the other side of the veil, my feelings of being weighed down, like by these chains, are lifted. So I feel free. Almost like, it feels like either something that came on quickly or something that, almost like a snowball rolling down a hill. Things picked up speed and went forward in the way to get Corey out of pain. So if this is something that was like kind of unexpected or something that felt like it came on really quick, it's almost like that happened so that there was this quick transition out of pain and into peace. When you are missing and needing me the most, cardinals fly around. Animals may be significant. Who is my angels or spirit guides, and do they have any messages for me? Hawks or birds may be significant here. There's someone that is going to be soon leaving your life, and that's for your protection or your benefit. The Fool in reverse, so that you can take a leap forward on yourself. The Hermit in reverse, because something about whoever's leaving is serving to, almost like their purpose is to see if they can hold you back, and they're not able to hold you back anymore. Yeah, you're slow and steady making forward progress. Perfect timing. Clockwork, planning, and patience. You're seeing the good in the bad and the bad in the good. It feels like this guide is someone that's been with you for a long time. I'm not going to get a name per se, but I can get a letter of a name, and it may be something that you already had in mind to confirm. We have a C, the letter C, like cake or cat. I'm going to do one more here, then hop back to the other list. Was my download of info from grandfather on Monday? Feels like it's more from a guide that's referencing grandfather's energy or speaking in a way that you would relate to your grandfather, because that's part of the message. This feels like it's coming from a guide. Someone, see how they're all walking? It's like someone who knows exactly how to communicate in a way that you would understand and not question. It feels like a guide that's referencing your grandfather's energy as part of the message. Message and a song from mom. One second. None of these are the song. Any Way You Want It by Journey. This feels like a message of like you're about to beat out the competition, or there's a need to allow yourself to take up space because it's going to work out for you. This is a message of encouragement from her. Yeah, what didn't work out for you really worked out for you. It's not the end. There's some kind of fulfilling energy coming in. Let's look directly at these tokens for some reason. Oh, it's an angel holding a child. She's like, I said what I said. 105 is the number on there. One second. Let me check on Gavin really quick. Okay, sorry. All right, let me do one more here and then I'll hop back to the other list. My mom has had a hand-painted antique glasses lamp. She's wondering if it's worth anything and if she should keep it or sell it. It's worth something to the right person. So I don't know if that means like eBay or like finding the right vintage shop or something like that. It's worth something, but not to everyone. You have to find the right buyer. I feel like she's worried it's fake or she's worried there's like something lacking. That's not the case. It's just needing to find the right buyer. I don't feel like it's worth I feel like whatever her like guess is, it's probably like 40 to 50% of what that guess is, monetary wise, if that makes sense. All right, last one, then I'm going to the other list. How will our trip to Sicily go? You may end up spending a little more than you would ideally like, but nothing that like really throws you out of bed. You're not going to break the bank, so to speak, but you may get home and be like, oh, spend a couple extra bucks on this and that, or upgrade it this or that. It feels like it's going to go well. There also may be some like slowness to something. I don't know if that's travel. I don't know if that's like waiting for something. It feels like it's going to go well, though. There may be something that you're like, I wish I could have done that or experienced that while there that you might not get to do. Yeah, some kind of painful ending. So not painful ending in terms of like something bad, but painful ending in terms of like, oh, I really wanted to do that or that had to be cut short. Maybe it's like weather or something. Feels like it's going to. Let me go back to this list. What is the thing I am missing in regard to my new project you mentioned in the last live? Something that sets you apart from the competition, doing something differently than those who are doing around you. Is there a written component that you could add into something? Almost like maybe like a digital guidebook or like something like a bonus written something. Death, that's the change needed. But then it's almost like you advertise that part and it draws people to it, if that makes sense, like the written part. Did B ever like me or was he just using me after his breakup? So I don't think the intention was to use you, but I think that it was a bit of, I need to not think about that by distracting myself with other things. So I don't think it was like necessarily maliciousness, but I think it's more of like, I don't know what I want really, and I'm making decisions before I really should be. I need to heal first. This person sees you as someone who holds the patience. Like this person felt like you'd be patient enough to see if they could heal or not. And it feels like they recognized that they were not ready, but almost like your patience was attractive to them as well, if that makes sense. When do you see me move back to the island to be around more family? Well, that's the family card. And it's upright, so it does feel like that's a good decision for you. And you are going to appreciate what's offered. I have summer, so I do feel like it's going to be at least a year before that were to happen. Will the job offer from the prison be the role I didn't get or a new role because they need extra help? Feels like a new role because they need extra help. Be the role I didn't get or a new role because of any extra help. Is it possible it's like a combination of those two? Almost like we're making another one of that position available because we need the extra help. It feels more like that. So like, I guess like a combination of the two. Something happens quickly. Almost like there's a problem and they're like, okay, the solution is more staff or something to that effect. Will my granddaughter get justice? I feel like as it stands right now, there's something that's standing in the way of that happening. It's like something else needs to be discovered, uncovered, talked about, someone else talked to. It feels like there's still more pushing to get that clarity to allow that to happen. It's like two pieces still need to come together. So I don't know if that's like a written statement from someone or like some kind of testimony or some kind of like additional investigation. It's like two things need to come together still for that to happen. And right now the two things are not together. Does my daughter have a message for me? The song Imagine by John Lennon is playing. You made some kind of decision and you made the right decision, but you still feel like you made the wrong decision because you haven't seen the proper results or rewards from the decision yet. But there's a reason for that, and it'll make sense after it happens, after you get the eventual inevitable, like, okay, that was the right decision. You'll recognize why it took a little time for you to have to question yourself. Yeah, Queen of Pentacles in reverse. Strength. You're going to overcome what's making you feel questionably stable right now when it comes to almost like feeling like you're waiting to discover that the wrong decision was made, but soon the other shoe will drop and you'll recognize, I don't know if that's the right way to use that, but soon you'll recognize that you actually did make the right decision. Send you loving signs through nature. And if I had only known then what I know now, I would have lived differently. Is my dad's quarter collection in the house or was it stolen? Is it in the house? Is it stolen? Is it in the house? It left the house. Someone was fulfilled to take it out of the house. Someone who's coming from an immature perspective. I didn't get what I wanted, so I'm just going to take it. Why? I'm coming from a place of lack of self-love, and I need, it's like I'm only thinking about myself. Was it M? Oh. Or was it C? Feels like it was C. I'm trapped in a bad situation and I'm leaning on you to get me through it. It feels like it was C, but I almost want to say this person's scared to do anything with it. Like it feels like they intended to take it and get rid of it, but they haven't yet. So I don't know if this is because it's recent or this is because they're like, okay, maybe I should put it back type of thing. Was Marilyn a witch in her past life? It feels like this is someone who was kind of pushed out of their family for different beliefs. That could be a witch. That could be just some kind of like spiritual energy that the family didn't agree with. This is like my family disowned me. I was the burden that was put down by the family. Knight of Cups in reverse. And that may show up as an abandonment wound in this lifetime that they're trying to protect themselves from having to relive the emotions of. So that could I'm not getting a direct confirmation of that, but that could very well be the case. It's something that I chose my beliefs, even though other people were trying to tell me that if I did that, they wouldn't associate with me anymore. My beliefs were that important to me. Any messages? And it's monkey with number 21 on it. Trying to understand the monkey reference. So monkeys swing from tree to tree. It feels like there's something coming in that's going to feel graceful moving forward. It's something that you've been waiting for in terms of stability or security, and you're going into calmer waters about it. So it feels like there's some kind of ease coming in because you almost like are ready to maintain staying in tune with your emotions. So now you're able to receive ease in whatever was causing you to feel frustrated so that you would pay attention to your emotions. So like, I ignore my emotions. I experience this frustration that's meant to put me in line with my emotions. And now that's coming to a close. How can I connect to my spirit guide or guardian angels? Through self-expression. Almost like you've been kind of holding back from some form of emotional release. And that's what will get you really experiencing deeper connection. You know what I'm seeing? You know those rooms that you like go and you break things? Like you're meant to do that. You're not just doing it to like a regular room. It's like you go and you're like able to destroy things. It feels like there's a need to release anger. And as you release the anger, it feels like rightful anger. As you release the rightful anger, you find yourself connecting not more per se, because it feels like it's already happening, but it's like you're able to understand it with more clarity. Heart chakra. So a wound that affected your heart chakra that requires, it feels like forgiveness in order to release the anger. The rightful anger. Message for August. Trust the redirection. It's almost like you had to hit a wall. What's that quote? It's like sometimes walls are there so you lean on them and rest. It's like you needed to experience a wall so that you could make a left or right turn, but you're pivoting in the right direction. There's a form of more successful self-expression when it comes to something business related. More successful self-representation, maybe is the word. Should I give Peter a chance? I feel like this is an uneven dynamic. I almost feel like Peter needs to feel needed, but not in the most healthy way. Yeah. I almost feel like this is saying this is a cycle that you may get stuck in trying to prove your worth and value because this person constantly makes you feel like you need to. I don't like it. No, I don't think you should. Let me pull one card for me saying that. I don't think you should. No, Queen of Wands. It's almost like don't allow this person to dim your essence or dim your light. Do one more and then hop over to the other list. Should I do a civil case against the person who assaulted me? I feel like you're going to need to, unfortunately, come with some kind of more evidence than you currently have. It's looking like if you were to show up tomorrow and present your case with what you already have, it doesn't look like it would go in your favor. It feels like there's more that needs to be presented, which I know is very difficult, depending on the situation. Almost like more on that person specifically. I don't know if it's like character. No, it feels like more than that. Is it possible this person has like repeated behaviors in the past? Almost like you would need to connect that with what happened to you in order to give yourself the chance that you, if that makes sense. Switch this playlist really quick. All I Know So Far by Pink. Hear, sense energy in the house lately. Who and why? All I Know So Far by Pink. This is a female energy that you already know. Communication. I'm on your side. I can't wait to tell you. Something good coming in. King of Cups in reverse. You've made room for the next piece of the puzzle to be presented to you. And it feels like this is a message almost of like where to look for it or where to find it because you've made room for it. You've released. It feels like this is an energy of someone that you already know. Likely that's past. Tears cleanse the soul. A release. You've made room for what's about to come in. Anything my pups want me to know. Trixie, Sunday, and Moose. Trixie, Sunday, and Moose. Do they like the car? It feels like there's somewhere they want to go. I don't know if it's like just a car ride with the chariot, but it feels like there's somewhere they want to go or something they want to do. Yeah, secret revealed. Where's that deck at? Somewhere they want to go or something they want to do. Fuel station. We want to go on a trip. You need to get gas before we can go on a trip. I don't know if it's like the park or whatever their favorite place is. It feels like almost like their message is, well, if you want to know something, we'd like to go here. If that makes sense. My daughter is under a clinical trial to beat brain cancer. I was thinking of switching trials. We're only 3 weeks into this trial, feeling confused. Okay, so current trial. Potential switching. I feel like it needs more time. Not that you won't eventually potentially switch, but I feel like whatever the initial treatment is right now needs more time to have the effects that you're not seeing yet. Almost like once you start to see some kind of results, you'll be able to gauge like what percentage is that and what percentage would I ideally like to be at. And if it's too low or not quick enough, then you can make the decision. But it feels like there's more time that's needed. I feel like don't stop looking into other options so that if that is not where you want it to be, you can then have an idea of where to go, which I feel like you're already doing anyway. But I guess look at it from the perspective of I'm waiting a little bit, but I want to have my options ready to go in case I do, after recognizing the results, if I see that they're not where I want them to be. Thank you. Let's pull one of these. Healing yourself can be offensive to people who benefited from your brokenness. Boundaries are important. New member, thank you. One of these. You are being presented with a choice: evolve or remain. Be mindful with your decisions right now and make sure that they are decisions coming from the version of you that you want to step into and not the older version of you that you're stepping away from. One more, and then I'm going to go to the other list. No more super chats. Super chats are going to be closed after. I have 10 more right now. Molly is the last one. I'm going to stay on about 20 more minutes. What can I expect from my current job in the future? Feels like someone's eventual ending makes space for you to either get more responsibility or rise up in some way. Yes, someone else that their time expires makes room for you. But I also feel like there's something else that you're going to be deciding between. Like, okay, I step into more responsibility or I move up in some way because of someone else's departure, but then I'm deciding between this and something else that seems better for me. I feel like you eventually leave, maybe a little bit sooner than expected, but for a good reason. Where did I go? I lost my space. 1 second. Will I meet a guy soon, and will I ever really be in love and have a good, healthy relationship? Yes. It feels like there's still a need to heal a little further, either for you or the other person. But both of these cards would be indicating a commitment on the other side of some kind of painful ending. So almost like the relationship you find yourself in eventually makes everything you had to go through to get to that point make sense, because this person is going to be a lot more emotionally available and mature than what you've experienced in the past. What do you feel is holding me back? Feels like a mindset that you have downloaded into your consciousness based off of the mindset of someone else that was affecting you when your brain was still kind of developing the way it looks at things. So I guess I'd say, like, for example, let's say it's a money wound. It would be the way that those who raised you viewed money, and then you viewing it the same way, not realizing that there's a different way to look at it, if that makes sense. Let's figure out what the wound is, though. Unresolved grief. So needing to figure out a different way to unpack and process your emotions. Imposter syndrome. So it's almost like, because of avoiding certain emotions, because of not having the tools to know how to process them, you feel like there's parts of you that are missing or aren't you, but it's because of the energy that needs to be released. So I guess I'd say needing to think of different tools to process emotions, because there's deeper ones that have yet to be processed with the tools that you're using so far. Will my son's urology appointment next week bear good news? I wouldn't say bad news, but I would say it's good. You're going to get directions of what needs to be changed or done. So you're not in the clear yet, but you're getting the answers you need. Okay, so this is after tarot. So typically it's just one person standing here. But since it's the scene after, this person is coming to cut them away and break them free. It's like you're figuring out the solution to what the issue is. So it not necessarily as good or bad. It's more of like, this is how we get it to be good by doing this. Trying to see if there's anyone I did not get. Will I get a new teaching position for this school year, August 2024? I would say it's highly likely. There's a need to follow up with someone, though. Typically, he's up on the cliff, but he's like hanging off. It's almost like if you follow up or you kind of not pushy, but like push forward with something, it's almost like the opportunity will unfold. Yeah, it's like a need to follow up, almost like oh, I remember you, and we still have a spot that we wanted to fill type of thing. I think it's highly likely. There may be a little bit of a delay, so you might not get it right at the start of the school year in August, but it feels like start following back up or reaching back out. It feels like there is something that's like right on the cusp. Right on the cusp? Is that how you say that? Right on the cusp, like right there, right within reach. Do one more here and then go to the other list. In regard to Joanne homicide, 1975, was it the police chief or another town that is now leading the cold case investigation? Police chief or another town? Is it possible it's something that you're not considering right now? Was it the police chief or another town that is now leading a cold case investigation? Is it possible it's someone connected to the police chief, but not the police chief themselves? Something's not as it appears. Something is being covered by someone who has the ability to cover something. So it almost feels like, so you're saying police chief or another town. It feels like same town, but someone who's protecting someone else, if that makes sense. Let me pull one from the other deck as a clarifier. Disposing of evidence in reverse. I'm hiding something for you. Someone's protecting someone else. It feels like in the same town, though. Ow. Any messages for me? You're about to get clarity on what was almost like an itch that couldn't be scratched. Something that was kind of something that your subconscious was ruminating on, trying to unpack. You're about to get the pieces of it. It feels like so that you'll be able to move forward in terms of stability or finance by starting to feel like yourself again. It's almost like there's an opportunity to pivot or usher in more clarity after you get a piece of the puzzle that allows you to figure out how to correct some kind of financial imbalance. So you're getting the first piece, and then you'll get more pieces of how to correct a financial imbalance. Back to this list. Get a couple of these. Irene, thank you. You've been pulling yourself out of dark places since you were a child. You were built for anything. There's some kind of staircase that you're currently climbing, and you're making ample progress. Will I get a new teaching position for this school year, or will I have to go back to my old job as an assistant. Oh, okay. So I said there may be something. Oh, so maybe you'll start as the assistant. A follow-up. Okay, truth. Page of Swords in reverse. I feel like it's likely to start as an assistant, and there may be a way to kind of jump into a different role. Because didn't I say it might not be immediately in August? So if you get that role and start that role, and then something else opens up, it feels like that kind of situation. Yeah, typically they're all standing up fighting, but since it's a scene after, they're all sitting down. It's like somebody moves out of the way and makes something possible for you. Yeah, someone else takes back their opportunity, and then you step into that role. I feel like it's likely to start as the assistant with an opportunity to advance somewhere throughout the school year. I don't know if it's in the same building or in like a different school. What can I know about Lillian and Henry's teachers for this upcoming school year? Any concerns? Feels like one of them might not learn the best from the way that the teacher teaches. Feels like almost like it's not my ability to learn, it's the way that you're not really explaining it properly type of thing. So there may be a little bit of extra effort needed, but it feels like just for one of them. It doesn't feel like anything that leads to like disappointment in terms of like report card or anything, but it feels like a need to relearn things that aren't taught in the best way for that one to learn. Lillian or Henry? Feels like more for her. It feels like it's her teacher that might not be as effective in terms of how she learns and how they teach. What way should I channel my energy another way? What way should I channel my energy another way? It feels like there's shadow wounds that are in focus here. Almost like what was not previously being expressed, needing some pain needs to be witnessed in order to be released. And it feels like that's this. Like as you release what you've been holding on to and hiding to someone that's trustworthy, you're able to kind of put down what was blocking you from seeing where to best direct your own flow of energy. The Tower in reverse. It feels like what you're fearing feeling because you feel like it's going to trap you is actually going to be what sets you free. What wound? Crown chakra. Grounding deficit. So we have head and feet. Chakras back into alignment is on the other side of feeling what's currently being repressed. Do 2 more here and then go back to the other list. Finally, mom time after work. Lucky numbers for Kino. Where did I put my little spinny thing? I don't know if I know where my little spinny thing is. Hold on. Oh, there it is. Lucky numbers. We have 22 and 34. And this would be abundance of whatever that is. So it could be 2222, 3434, something to that effect. Repeating numbers with 2s, 3s, and 4s. Specifically 22 and 34. Is my children's father at peace, and are there any messages for me or them? I'm no longer fighting the battle that I was on Earth. I'm finally able to sift through the heavier emotions and feel like myself again. That could also be physical. I'm finally able to heal the physical and feel like myself again. The hardest part of it was leaving everyone behind. I'm better, and I would choose to feel this way, as in better. I would choose to feel the way I feel now. The only difficulty was who I had to leave behind. You feel that passion within. That's me trying to nudge you. You deserve better. And I have no more earthly worries. Don't hold back because of his memory. Allow his memory to fuel you to move forward in his honor. I have the moon and the page of pentacles on the bottom of the deck. It's almost like your success. I feel like this is for your child or children. Your success is what keeps my memory alive. So allow yourself to fully shine. I have a song. Hold on one second. Your Song by Elton John. Any messages from my husband about the past trip and a token? An octopus with number 41. So an octopus has a lot of different legs, a lot of different arms. Feels like there was something left unsaid that he's trying, almost like there's something like an elephant in the room type of thing that may be left unsaid, but the message is like, you know what should have been said, and that's what I wish would have been said. Does that make sense? Yeah, freedom to release that. I wish I could have said to you what you know you deserved to hear, but there was either some preoccupied energy or like running myself too thin type energy involved. I'm like a balloon. Why and how can I shift this, please? How can I shift this? Okay, so you're saying balloon. So a balloon would be floating up in the air, and he's holding onto the cliff. So there's a need to get what's going wrong under control first. It feels like sleeping is an issue. You're not getting restful sleep. So it feels like needing to get to the root of why that's happening. It feels like there's a lot of anxiety around sleep. So it feels like there's something in the day or like whenever you're doing your regular stuff, it feels like there's something that's left unresolved that as you resolve that, you'll start to improve the sleep. And as you improve the sleep, you'll start to improve the mental clarity, it feels like. And there's some kind of self-sabotage when it comes to a change that needs to be made. It feels like avoidance is the energy. So needing to stop and face, it feels like something finances or like environment wise, like something in my environment is off. Root chakra, attachments to material possessions in reverse, and spiritual ego in reverse. There's this feeling of unworthiness that needs to be addressed here. Almost like you must realize that you already have all the tools to solve the problem, but you can't avoid the problem. And as you solve that problem, you'll be free to move forward like on purpose instead of just kind of being thrown forward, if that makes sense. One more and going back to the other list. How will college go for my kids this year? Katie is a junior, Kev is a sophomore. Katie. Feels like Katie may be a little homesick, or may feel, Katie is a junior. Okay, so 2 years left. Almost like there's this feeling of like, oh, this is kind of going quick, or I need to have things more figured out. It feels like school is a lot of like, where do I really want to focus my energy so that I can have the best chance moving forward? It feels like there's a lot of anxiety in terms of future planning, but a lot of things getting figured out because of that. Like using the anxiety as fuel is what it feels like. And then for Kev, it feels like school goes fine, but there's an element while at school of some kind of painful ending. It doesn't feel like school related. It feels like relationship or friendship. It feels like there's a significant falling out that he doesn't see coming. That's going to be a major lesson this year. And almost like around the time that that happens, school may feel a little bit more challenging for him because he's focused on that. But it does feel like he gets back on track. King of Cups in reverse. Something to do with I'm deep in my emotions about. I'm going to do about 10 more, probably. Who is my spirit guide and do they have a message? Communication. Hanged Man in reverse. So this is the after tarot. Typically it's just the Hanged Man on the card, but there's someone coming back to give this person water. It's in reverse. It's like you're about to receive because of what you've been doing for others that you think is gone unnoticed. You helped someone correct an imbalance. You don't see the impact that you made in that person's life. There's a bigger impact, what's that called? When you leave a digital footprint. You've left a bigger footprint in someone's life than you're realizing, and you're about to really see the reward from that you weren't expecting. Yeah, you helped someone heal something. You didn't do it for that reason, but it's almost like your guides want to let you know that it's coming, so that when it comes, you know that it was your guides who let you know it was coming, so there's a deeper connection, if that makes sense. Should we use this deck? Angel of Learning. You used your wisdom to teach someone how to put down a heavy burden that without you they would have had a much harder time with. And you're about to be gifted more opportunities to do that more often. Will I move out by next year and get my own place? I would not say by next year. It does feel like it's going in that direction, but it feels like there's something that falls through before you end up getting what's going to be right for you. Yeah, something that delays the ships coming in. Almost like I find a place, I put in an application, I think I'm going to get it, I don't, I have to start the search over. It feels like something like that is going to hold significance, and then after that you end up getting it. King of Wands in reverse. I took action in the wrong direction. I wouldn't say within the next year, but I would say within the next 2. What is that token set you are using today? Send me an email. It's I have to look. It's on Etsy. I have to see which one I purchased, but it's on Etsy. But send me an email and I'll send you the link. I have to look it up. I don't think I have a box. I had a little pamphlet, but I don't know where it went. I know they're called clarifier tokens. I just don't know which shop I purchased from. Will Nova favor my looks or her dad's looks? Yours? Feels like her dad's more than yours, especially in the beginning. It feels like there's one specific feature. Okay, so both of you eventually, but it feels like in the beginning there's one specific feature where you're like, oh, that's her dad. That's not me, that's her dad. And almost like that's a very noticeable feature that people point out often, but then it feels like she ends up looking more like a mix of you two, but with that prominent feature from the dad. Trying to see if there's anybody I didn't get. Do I have cords that urgently need cut, and with whom? yes. Feels like a female family member. Either a female family member or a family member that was in charge of nurturing you that did not do that adequately when it comes to your emotions. I was going to say it could be someone who could be considered family, but this feels like directly family. And not that you need to cut ties with them externally. This is more of like, I need to disconnect from the mindset, putting on a heavy burden. I need to disconnect from the mindset that you put me in, type of thing with that female. Donna, I don't see your other question. Ask again and I'll try to go back to the bottom in a minute. I'm trying to see if there's anyone I did not get. Oh, I got it. Okay. Is A man or no man? Is A man or no man? Is A man or no man? Not woman, man, man. I don't really all the way understand the question, but I would tend to say a man. Because we have 2 men upright and 1 female in reverse. So it's like best of 3, 2 are upright type of thing. A rage room. Yeah, that's the room that I said about hitting stuff. That's what it's called. Thank you. My son's work promotion will be in teaching or manager. Feels like more likely teaching. I feel like that's where he'll find more fulfillment as well. There's something about like helping people expand the way that they learn things or understand things. That's important to him. So I would say leaning in the direction of teaching. Although there is an element of like potentially more money in the manager position, but it feels like there's more likely that he goes to the teaching position and can maybe increase the salary based off of like more specialized, tunnel visioned, like I focus on this one particular subject and I get really, really good at it type of thing. It feels like that would be more fulfilling for him than the manager role. Sometimes I don't realize how many there is because this little thing doesn't move down. 1 second. How can I further excel at my job or prove coworkers wrong who look down on me? Ace of Cups just fell on the floor. As I said, look down on me. It's not looking down on you. It's being intimidated by your light. This is like don't compete where you don't compare. Page of Wands in reverse. It feels like this is projections. It's not that they're looking down on you. It's that they're intimidated about what you could become that they feel like they can't. Something about the way you carry yourself. Yeah, what can you do to further excel? Coming up with a solution that you could speak about publicly. So I don't know if that's like a meeting or that's like I talk to my manager when there's somebody else there. I come up with a solution for something that nobody else can figure out. Almost like I put the puzzle together that everyone else kept dropping on the floor. Any messages from my mom? Sugar, Sugar by the Archies. There's a situation that she's guiding you to ask yourself, what would my mom do? Because it feels like she's not someone who would typically be like, oh, well, do it how I would do it. But it's like in this particular situation that you're questioning what to do. If you look at this one time from her perspective, how she would handle it is the best way to handle it in this case, justice. So it's not like I'll always do what I would do, but it's like because I'm not telling you to always do what I would do in this particular case, if you look at it from that way, almost like a you'll know what I'm talking about thing. Do not be afraid. It was my time to go. Don't be afraid. It feels like to walk away or to choose yourself or to trust your gut or intuition. Sarah, I don't know if I see your question. One second. What does the future of my current relationship look like? There's a situation with either emotional availability or like I'm unhappy with it feels like coming from your partner. I'm unhappy with something in myself and it feels like something that has already happened is going to happen again to that effect. It makes its way back around. It doesn't feel like it causes a separation, but it causes you to make some major adjustments in the relationship. When will I meet my next long-term romantic partner? Ooh, excuse me. I feel like you're going to come across someone who you're going to see one way and then see them in a different light. Not that it's like a bad light and then a good light. It's just like, okay, you might not be my type. And then, oh, wow, you're my type. It feels like by the end of 2025, almost like you come to know this person and then you have a shift in perspective and it makes them like a good candidate, I guess. Let's see if there's anyone I didn't get. Do you use your mini deck like tokens and a larger for clarifiers? Yeah, kind of. I feel like these are good for like added details. Once I get my shipment in, I'm probably going to put 2 decks in the same bag. So double clarifiers. I feel like it's just like deeper information or like more direction, if that makes sense. I have an unsolved case missing mother of 2 who just up and walked away. Can you pick up on where she is? Feels like she's on the move. Like I'm moving around from place to place. I wasn't happy with my life. It's not necessarily that someone was chasing me or causing me to fear. It's more of like, it feels like a mental break type of thing. Almost like walls are closing in on me type pressure. Marriage, wedding ceremony in reverse. freedom in reverse. I feel trapped by someone. I feel trapped by someone. Walls are closing in. I have to make myself free. Riot in reverse. Premeditated in reverse. It feels like a mental break or like a snapping. Like I don't think this out before I just decide to do it without really thinking it through all the way. It feels like this person's on the move. I don't think you're going to find this person in one place right now. It doesn't feel like they're settling in somewhere. It feels like I'm jumping from place to place because I'm escaping myself too. Messages from my spirit guides. I'm going to stay on for about a couple more minutes, like 5 more minutes. I need to get a different camera for up there. Whatever perspective is that you recently switched, that you're like almost considering switching back, you made the right decision. You made the right switch. You're perceiving things correctly now. You were not a little bit ago, but you are now. Whatever shift you had, you took your power back. It feels like there's a bit of like codependency being healed here, but it doesn't feel like codependent to a person. It feels like codependent to a mindset that wasn't serving me. High Priestess in reverse. You're recognizing how it was holding you back, and you made the right choices to change it. So I guess that's confirmation that you made the right change recently with how you switched the way you were perceiving things. Can you read the energy around my husband now? I'm planning to discuss a separation. I would word this as he won't be all the way surprised at that discussion. Yeah, I won't be all the way surprised. I won't be all the way surprised, but I'm going to act like I never saw this coming. What's the energy around him? He's waiting for it. It feels like he's waiting for this conversation, or is anticipating or expecting this conversation, walking away unfulfilled. Almost like this feeling of like him feeling like you already made the decision and you're just waiting to discuss it with him. And him feeling like, well, there's no point in changing anything now. There's nothing I can do, type of thing. I guess I'd say a little bit of sulking. Like, okay, I could take this time to try and make changes, but I'm not going to do that. My ego's hurt. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. It feels like as you pull back your energy, he recognizes the value that you really did bring that he wasn't seeing before. Where was David Schultz for the 5 months that he went missing? Did he know who did this? A painful ending. Look, it's in my reading for him. I got someone kind of removing him from trying to get back in the vehicle and taking him out. So that would be the 2 people carrying him out. A painful ending. Taken away from my work. I wasn't able to fight back efficiently. What am I doing? Let me see. Neighborhood in reverse. Celebrity. Church. It feels like something abandoned. Not in a house. Church. Celebrity. People knew where he was and it was somewhere abandoned. Is that fair to say? Outer space. Weapon. Weaponizing the keeping you away from. It feels like something that's secluded and not being used. Like an abandoned warehouse. Maybe like Feels like more inside than a shed, but maybe something like a little structure out in the woods or something to that, or not woods because this was deserts. It's a little structure that nobody would think to look in is what it feels like, or maybe like a warehouse nobody thought would to look in. Sarah, I don't see your question. Sarah GYC, thank you. Thank you. Will she answer my question? I don't see your question. There we go. Who are the people on my spirit team and do they have a message for me? Queen of Wands in reverse. It feels like your spirit team right now that you're kind of thinking of when you ask this is not people that you knew in this lifetime. This is like spirit guides that are here for a bigger purpose. Yeah, not someone you knew in this lifetime. There's a need here to the way out is through expression. So there's something that you feel held back on. It feels like either a gift, a talent, or like a passion that you're trying to walk into or open up, and you feel like there's some kind of blockage or stagnancy. And I almost put those two words together. And then we have the Three of Pentacles in reverse. So there's a need to express, regardless of how other people feel about it. In doing so, you figure out which way you're being directed to move forward in terms of a talent or a passion. What didn't work out for you really worked out for you. Some kind of thing that you were blocked from previously, as you work through expression, you're going to figure out why that wasn't right for you and what will be right for you. Do I have a spirit guide? Can they guide me to get out of debt? Yes, there is some kind of solution to put down the heavy burden. So the four corners here, it's like this would be guides kind of leading you towards it or protecting you in some way. A release. It feels like there's something that you could be getting rid of that would turn things just enough in your favor to start to make like a snowball effect of progress. I don't know if that's like consolidating debts. I don't know if that's some kind of side thing you bring in. It feels like if you can alleviate about 10 to 20% of your stress, they will help match that, if that makes sense. Like they'll put in another 10 to 20%. There's a need to take a leap of faith on yourself, though, when it comes to this. King of Swords would be divinely protected action or divinely guided action. The Empress, see the light bulb over her head? It's like there's an idea that you have that you're hesitating on, and walking down the path of that idea is going to help you alleviate your percent of it so that they can then step in and alleviate the rest. Or not the rest, but match that, if that makes sense. All right, I'm going to do two more, and then I have to go check on Gavin. I do not know where I am. Do any of my guides have messages for me? Listen to what is not being said. I don't know if this is about a true crime case or if this is about something else. It feels like something you're looking into. You're meant to be looking for or listening to what is not being said. Knight of Wands in reverse, Queen of Wands in reverse. Listen to what is not being said by people surrounding the situation. There's some kind of major clue in that. What is not, you're hearing what is not evidence. Okay. Manipulating, gaslighting, and control. Someone trying to control the narrative or control the evidence by leaving something out. And if you look for it, you'll see it. All right, last one, and then I have to hop off. What will the dynamic between me and my new boss be like? It's not going to be as stressful, it feels like, as what you dealt with in the past, but it's almost like you have certain ideas that you have to feel out the new boss before you figure out how to really present them. So I guess I'd say there's like a warming up phase, but then it moves forward. Almost like there may be a little bit of energy from this boss that makes you feel a little silly for trying to say your ideas, and you have to figure out how to approach it differently. Like, okay, how can I be taken more seriously? Or how can I, this may be someone who wants their ideas to be the only ideas, or it may feel that way for a bit of time, but then you like work through it. Yeah, it's, the coming together as a team is going to take a minute to warm up, but then it goes in that direction, but slowly. All right, everyone, I have to hop off to go make Gavin some lunch. I'll be back on probably Tuesday. Yeah, probably Tuesday. Please remember stand.store/The Reckoning Co. are all of my links and my only links. Thank you to my mods for being here. Thank you to everyone for being here. And I will see you next week. Oh, I'm also going to try my best to get a reading for Sebastian Rogers out today. I shared yesterday on the community page, someone found a location that looks similar to my drawing. So I'm going to be going over that person's, what they were saying in their video and pulling cards to see if we can get anything to match up, because that person went there but didn't dig yet, and there's piles of like red dirt and stuff. So anyway, I'm going to try and do that today as well. Talk to you soon.